Greetings, 'tis I, our Smelik, or Cheshire Smelik in this case, and I am here in my custom adventure map, Wonderland. I'm going to be doing a director's commentary of sort. Ah, there we go. That's slightly better. Only one more thing that needs to be done. Cow, it's you or me. Alright, so this custom adventure map was created and published in April of 2011. That was in the early beta days of Minecraft, and it was created without any help of MC Edit. I did use World Edit to do cylinder, and I used World Edit to do rectangular manipulations. But there's a couple things I'm going to point out as I play through this map. And the first one being that this spawn area, interestingly enough, is in an icy biome. I had no idea. In fact, I don't think snow biomes were very well understood back at that time. This is before there was even food in Minecraft, before the 256 height limit, etc. And it's only after one of the alpha or one of the official releases that the biomes all changed, and I can't remember what release it was, but it's now in a snow biome. So at the time I created this, I had played very few custom maps whatsoever and really didn't know what good design principles were, which you'll see as I walk through it. But I did do quite a bit of research on the storyline because I really wanted to capture the feel of Alice in Wonderland's creator, Lewis Carroll, who actually goes by a pen name. And I won't spoil it for you, but you can read about that as you play the map yourself. So the other thing I want to point out is I used these record players in game with a little rose and a number, and that was supposed to signify which audio file. So I actually got people to my family members and I, to record our voices, and instead of using text note files, you can listen to the audio. My hope was that someday I would be able to customize records so you could just pop in the red record and listen to the narration. Now, funnily enough, in 2013, resource packs are going to come out and you will finally be able to do that. So without further ado, I've talked all through the night. Why don't we head into the first area of Wonderland? And of course that is going to be to fall down the giant tree. Oh! Now, this obviously is one of the famous parts of Alice in Wonderland, is falling down into the rabbit hole and shrinking to become smaller or larger depending on what you ate. So one of the rules of this map is that you could only break glass, which I didn't know it at the time, but would really fit well with adventure mode because you need to get this chest from up here. And the other thing that is really the only real important rule for this map was that you could not do any crafting outside of your 2x2 inventory window. And so you weren't allowed to craft anything in a crafting table. Now, I wanted this fall to be a lot longer than it is and have upside down furniture and all kinds of interesting stuff in it. But as I said, the world height was not 256 at the time, so it's a relatively short fall, but I think it's effective. And the other thing is, some people wanted to play this on difficulties other than peaceful, and so I put a sword at the bottom there for people to play on. Now, this room in particular, I want to show you one of these doors actually contains a room that is completely ineffective because, okay, that's the way that you're supposed to go. This room over here contains a slime spawner. I did not know it at the time, but slime spawners, obviously, and by the way, here you could make torches and have some Eat Me food, some Alice in Wonderland references, so let's go ahead and make those torches. You're seeing the too many items interface here, as well as the guns mod, flans mod from Forge. So when I first created this, I just wanted to add a little room of interest. Not too much trouble, but if you saw this, you might think, ooh, let's go in there, that's the way to go, and then find out that it's just slimes. Of course, back then, slimes only spawned in certain chunks, and so in the first few releases of this map, I actually manually spawned slimes into this room so it would be full, but somewhere along the way those got lost. And at this point, I don't think those slimes will actually spawn. I should probably change it to a swamp biome. The other thing that I would say about this map that really, really, really surprised me when I released it and watched the first couple LPs was I thought for sure everyone knew the story of Alice in Wonderland and enjoyed it as much as I did. It's one of my favorite Disney cartoons and really one of my favorite movies in general. And a lot of people that played it don't like Alice in Wonderland, and or did not understand it. So I was really surprised at how many people didn't get the backstory. Now, one thing I want to point out is I went through a lot of trouble to create these chest art. Here, this is a red knight chest piece in the chest, obviously. And each of the characters that you hear when you listen to the records in the story are reflected in the nearby chest. It's sort of an unspoken thing that they are hiding in these chests, hiding from the Red Queen. And as you can see here, I had trouble with this spawner as well. It's not really quite dark or tall enough to spawn a lot of mobs, but it does spawn mobs on occasion. So we're going to go up this first walkway here, and I tried to mix in lots of blocks and paintings just to make it look kind of strange. I got really lucky with this water right here because it's just high enough that you're almost out of breath when you get to the top, and I totally did not plan that. But one thing that I did plan, I did not plan that it would be covered with ice either. That's a problem. That is a huge problem, actually, considering that you can't actually break ice very easily when you're in water. I should have just done this. There we go. That's pretty funny, actually. So yeah, this was not supposed to be a snow biome. And the other thing, I didn't really realize how spawners worked. So I've got a spider spawner in this cave, which is there just to give you a little bit of challenge. I had at first tried to put spider spawners outside, but of course, when you get to this part of the map, it's probably still daylight, and so the spider spawners are not really too effective. So these are Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Here's their body, their legs, their head, and their arms. And they're very interesting characters in the story. I'm going to clear the weather just so you can see a little bit better. And as I said, what was really important to me in this map was the story. So I actually planned out all of these encounters and exactly what I was going to say before I built anything at all. And that is a map making skill that I have maintained even to this day. You can see that I just grabbed a big rectangular chunk of this land and raised it up. That's where you fall from. At one point when I realized that I could play on far render distance, because I used to play on like normal or short way back in the day, I debated changing that, but I figured, you know what, it looks really weird, and that's what Wonderland is all about. So here, I also added some caves with spider spawners. This time, I put them so that they would be at your back when you come over to this wall. But of course, I didn't realize that when spiders touch daylight, they become unhostile. So as I move through this part of the map here, you're going to see these spider spawners are completely ineffective. And that was just due to my lack of understanding at the time. Also, if these get covered with snow, it's very hard to find the path to the next encounter. Something that I would fix if I were going to update this map. But this map is officially retired. Now, here's the White Rabbit's house. Apparently at some point, I think for beta 1.9, I put these iron bars in as trellises. I didn't remember doing that. The house doesn't look so great from the side, but it looks okay from the front, considering when it was built. This is the White Rabbit's mailbox. Some people didn't notice that. 13 Wonder Lane, like Wonderland. And in one of my updates, I accidentally lost the bottom of this fountain. So if you jump in the fountain, you'd fall in the void. Also, I forgot to mention, in the bottom of the rabbit's hole, void particles were really irritating when they first were introduced. Here is the White Rabbit. Here's his ears, his eyes, his nose, and then his 2 buck teeth under his nose, hiding in this chest. Really, the going into the White Rabbit's house is completely optional for the story. Here's the classic broken double doors. This is one of my favorite parts because people that had brought the pickaxes with them were able to defeat this spawner, but a lot of people didn't find this spawner back here in the closet while they were playing the map, and they couldn't understand where the zombies were coming from. And up here we've got pigmen mixed in. The thought was that as you're trying to fight the skeletons and zombies, you might accidentally hit the pigmen. This is really the first time I tried to make furniture in Minecraft. I did not furnish my build in the map that came just before this, which was World Out of Time. Here's another White Rabbit. Actually, this time he has golden eyes. And the 4th node is here. And then skeleton spawner, of course, in the bathroom. Alright, so let's head out of the White Rabbit's house. Alright, he's going to try to break it. Now, when you play this map, let's see if I can. Oh yeah, I can. When you play this map back in the beta days of Minecraft, it was a pretty easy game. And everything that I've just gone through, you could get through without even seeing a single mob. But when I made Tulgey Wood here, I had no idea that it was going to be completely difficult compared to the rest of the map. And one of the main reasons for that difficulty is because it's completely pitch black. I had basically made this area by placing a ceiling over top of it. So lots of mobs can spawn in here. And if you're only armed with a wooden sword or an iron sword at this point, no bows, this can actually be pretty tricky. So this is the part of the map that is a little bit unbalanced. But the other thing is people get lost in here because, like any good adventure map, you're not supposed to break blocks. But actually, if you just follow the trail of sand, the way is actually pretty easy to follow. I might even die just going through here. I'm going to go ahead and put a light here. There it is. There's that extra sand. Oh my gosh, I just jumped out of my skin. And that is what happens in Tulgey Wood, ladies and gentlemen. It's been overrun by the White Queen's sons. And they are not too happy with you. Okay, I think, is it this way? Oh boy, it's such a small maze. This is not the right way because I've run out of sand. This should be a dead end. Oh, no it's not. There's the sand. Okay, I'm gonna just make my way through Tulgey Wood here. And then some people get to this point and they forget that the other one had a lot more signs and redstone torches, and so they're like, oh no, did I go in a circle? And then they read these signs, which are quite funny to me personally, and then they try to find their way out of Tulgey Wood. Now, a lot of people missed the next story point when I first released this map, and they would get to this point and they would read these signs and they would just go barreling forward into the garden, never looking off this way. So I added these redstone torches, and then in another release I added this cat, which says the Cheshire Cat is not hiding this way. I had to make it completely obvious, and then finally people's LPs were able to find the Cheshire Cat. Here's his big smile, his striped body, his eyebrows, and you can see that that's interesting. It says diamond helmet, but they're gray for some reason. You can basically see that I was using gear progression back in this map, starting with and then switching to stone, and then iron, and finally diamond, given to you by the characters.